Welcome to the first video that you're going to watch this year on control systems. Control system is a device or set of devices that are coordinated to execute a planned set of actions. So if you look at these two individuals in this, you can see that they are intent in their work. A video game controller would be a good example. It's a remote handled by you. You are providing the input with the controller. The output is sent to the monitor, and then feedback appears on the screen. We're going to use the word feedback a lot. So the output is viewed as visual feedback. So we'll give you another example of that here. The input is the device being manipulated. That is, you pushing the buttons. A sensor is read, and then that goes into the processor, into the computer, and the video game machine, and then the game responds. Your person jumps. And then you see that on the monitor, and then you died. So then you realize, oh, I need to not jump there. And then so you change your input again. So it's a constant loop where you have input, the sensor is read, it's processed, the game responds, and then you see the feedback. And then once you see the feedback, you're going to change your input. And that's usually what happens. Upon feedback, something is changed. So this is called a closed loop down here at the bottom. There's input, there's some type of process, and then usually there is an output that relays to feedback, and then the computer processes that feedback and then goes back to the input. So we're going to talk more about this loop, make that a little bit more clear. A music player is a great example. What is the input for increasing the volume? What is the process? What is the output? What is the feedback? So take a couple seconds, pause me right now, and I want you to write down in your notebook your quick answer for these 4 questions. That's what I'm going to be checking. And hopefully you've unpaused me now. So we're going to move on. You can check your answer. So the controls operated by the user and signals sent to the device, that's the input. Request is processed by the device and desired conditions are set. And the volume strength is increased. That is the output. So I went back a slide here. We have input, process, output, feedback. So here's our input, here's our process, here is our output, and this here is our feedback. It is heard through the headphones by the user. And if it's too loud, then you're like, oh, I gotta turn that down. And if it's too quiet, then you turn it up. So again, here's how this works. The device is manipulated, the sensor is read, the reading is processed in the machine itself, in your music player. The player responds by an increase or decrease in volume. You hear it, you go deaf, and so you turn the volume down. So here are a couple of open and closed loop samples. An open loop would be a sprinkler system. There is no direct connection between the output, all the water going out, and the input, which is, hey, the timer's on, let's spray some water. So if there is a cut in the line somewhere, one of the sprinkler heads is not connected, let's say in your yard if you have a sprinkler system, or in the park, water is going to go shooting up like a geyser out of that thing, and the sprinkler system doesn't know because it doesn't have a sensor to tell it, hey, wait a minute, water's not coming out over here, but it's coming out here. That is called an open loop, when the computer does not know what's happening at the end. A closed loop would be something like a thermostat. A refrigerator light sensor is not the best. We're going to skip that. Look at the thermostat. A thermostat responds. So if it gets cold, that is the feedback. The thermostat recognizes that, and it says, hey, I'm cold. And then so the heat turns on, and then it gets warm. And then it says, whoa, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So then it turns off, and then if it's really cold outside, the temperature starts to drop. And once it gets past the threshold, click, then heater turns back on. So that is a closed loop because it controls itself. You don't have to go in and turn it on and then wait. Then you turn it off, then you turn it on, you turn it off. It does it automatically. So that is it for this presentation.